You're listening to the Baseball Insider Show presented by BCWSA. We now go live to the Eddington House. Here's your host, Phillies Director of Fun and Games, John Brazer, and pitcher from the 93 National League Phils, Tommy Greene.
All right, welcome to a special playoff Septa Baseball Insider Show presented by BCWSA, live from the Eddington House in Bensalem, PA. I'm with Tommy Greene and Mickey Morandini, and the song that's playing in the background is "The Devil Went Down to Georgia"
by
the
that?
Charlie Daniels Band.
I guess we are.
And it's pretty appropriate because I
Yes,
think right
it
now
is.
the Braves fans are looking at Philly fans and the Phillies in general as the devil, because second year in a row we go down to Atlanta in the NLDS and we win Game 1.
How about that, boys?
I mean, unbelievable.
That's the same thing they did to us back in the day when we went down to Atlanta to play them. As opposed to there's women and children off the streets, the Phillies are in town.
Well, Mickey, I'm here with Mickey Morandini, Tommy Greene. Thanks for joining us, guys. And let me just tell you, there's one word of the day for last night's game. One word. Well, it's actually many words. I think they all mean the same thing. Huevos.
Huevos.
Right?
Yeah.
Guts. Cojones. Stones. What else do you want to put in there? Because last night's game, there was, it's an uphill battle. We had, obviously, because we had to play in the wild card series, we can't use Wheeler, can't use Nola. We got to use Suarez. They're very good against lefties. They have the guy in Major League Baseball who led the only 20-game winner in MLB, the guy who's the leader in strikeouts by far, the guy that was 7-0 against the Phillies, other than the postseason last year. I mean, you look at all those metrics, and we're in trouble. But Rob Thompson had a plan, and he didn't tell the pitcher the plan, which is
obviously
right.
Yeah.
Well, not obviously.
Judge by the reaction that we saw.
Right. But not obviously in the sense that I don't know how many managers would do that, because if you're going to do that, you're obviously telling your catcher, you got to tell the bullpen guys, because they got to be ready to get going. I know that every Philadelphian that was watching that game on TV was probably saying, or if you're down in Atlanta, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Well, Ranger Suarez pitching great.
Give up one hit. That's it.
And everybody, I said it, right? You said it, I'm sure. Mickey, you said it.
And it was with 2 outs. He gave up a hit and he pulls him with 2 outs.
Right.
Yeah. I didn't get that. That sort of bothered me a little bit. But
hey, he had a plan that he wasn't going to tell Ranger Suarez, because he wanted Ranger Suarez to pitch the way without thinking that he's got to exert all this energy knowing he's going to be out early, which is an interesting but JT Realmuto had to call the game knowing that he's going to be yanked early, right? But without telling Ranger. So it's a psychological thing that was going on, and obviously the bullpen's got to be ready to knowing that probably every guy's going to be doing 1 inning.
Well, I mean, you look at postseason play, and us as starting pitchers and Mickey can vouch for that. We know if it starts, especially in the shorter series, we know when things start going the wrong way a little bit.
Right.
Your leash is shorter than normal. So, I mean, did it shock me? I don't think. Right. I don't think it. I mean, I wasn't happy with it, but it didn't shock me. They played the matchups.
Well, there's a lot of things that factor into that. One, it's a short series.
Yep.
2, you got the off days. So you can use your entire bullpen.
Which he did, man.
The schedule helped us tremendously.
And you have an off day today, so
Yes.
everybody's going to be ready to go tomorrow. And as I was driving in for an appearance yesterday, the skipper was talking to Greg Murphy and said it's going to be a series of matchups. He's going to go lefty on lefty, righty on righty. And he knew also he has Wheeler going tomorrow,
right?
Which you would expect he's going to go at least 6 innings. You expect him to.
Right.
He's your horse.
So
he's thinking if he can steal this game,
if he can get Game 1,
right?
And it worked out. Now if they bring Hoffman in and he gives up a 3-run bomb,
it's going to be criticized big time.
Yeah, it's going to go the other way.
That's why I said cojones, because there was 6. How many guys came in? 6 guys. Whoever it was.
No, there's a bunch of them.
I think
they ain't got enough page.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, six relievers came in. So I mean, there's a chance that one of those relievers is going to have a bad day.
Right. And he used Alvarado early.
Usually
he's an 8th or 9th inning guy. He used him early because of the matchup.
And again, I'm yelling at the TV, going, "Come on, save this guy for later."
right.
It's too early.
Right.
But the interesting thing, too, is again, coming down numbers, he had it all planned out. Again, Ranger Suarez was not in on this. But he figured that when he's going to get in a little bit of trouble or when their meat of their lineups coming up, because they hit left-handers, and that was what happened. Ozuna comes up. Ozuna, he knew that Ozuna, his OPS is like 100 points higher second time around. Also he hits much better against lefties and righties. And he figured that in that spot, that's what he's going to do it. And obviously Ranger gets pulled, was not happy, did not know the plan, as we mentioned. And he brings in Hoffman. Hoffman walks the first guy. It's a little bit of trouble, but then he gets out of it with that killer.
I tell you what, there's some good breaking balls been thrown the last
a lot of breaking balls.
It's unbelievable.
You know, the other thing that plays into this, and I don't know if MLB is considering changing the format, but to have 5 full days off.
Yes.
Is a huge advantage for that wild card team. A huge advantage. And
Yeah.
I know they said they did simulated game. It's not the same.
No.
The intensity's not there. And you saw it in Los Angeles, too. They came out flat.
Plus, Mickey, they haven't had a meaningful game. I mean, yeah, they were trying to hold the home field advantage against the Dodgers throughout the last 2 weeks. But for the most part, they didn't have a meaningful game the last 2 weeks. So you throw that in with that 5 days rest.
Right. And I know they think getting a bye is a huge advantage.
No.
Which it should
That's
be.
In baseball, it's not.
It's not.
Your timing gets thrown off as a hitter, and I don't know about a starter, but if you had 10 days off as a starter, it's going to affect
I
you.
can vouch for it because we ended going into the playoffs in '93. I was pitching on the 10 days rest. And I could throw it through a brick wall, but I didn't know where it was going.
Yeah.
I couldn't get it down in the zone. Before you know, it's 2-0, and you get it down, and you come to that, you end up backing up bases.
The Strider was sharp yesterday. He pitched really well.
Very good, yeah.
But from the hitting side of it, it's a huge advantage for that wild card
Now,
team.
okay, let's be – if you're a commissioner for a day, right, and there's going to be – let's say the Dodgers get knocked out against Diamondbacks, of which they got wiped out. How about Clayton Kershaw? He's one pitcher in the regular season, and then he's just, unfortunately, the poor guy is he can't – he's one of the best pitchers ever in the regular season and is terrible in the postseason.
Yeah.
But anyway, if the Dodgers get swept or lose, if the Braves lose, well, you're going to get some rumblings from some people. But what do you do in that situation? Because you're giving them the advantage, right?
Yeah.
Technically, but you're right that it's also, I don't know if you want that advantage, right?
Yeah, I don't know what you can do because you have to have the off day at the end of the season. Everybody needs an off day at the end of the season. You got to start the wild card games on Tuesdays. I don't know what you can do.
Yeah,
the only thing
and they had the advantage because they're pitching. The lineup's already set up. Like they were able to go Strider and
the only thing you can do is don't give those guys a bye, eliminate the bye, and have them play the worst wild card team or something. I don't know. I don't know what you can do.
Right, because you are going to hear some rumblings if those two teams.
Oh, no question. You heard it last year.
Yeah, if the Braves and Dodgers get knocked out this year, because last year the Dodgers obviously get knocked out, but the Padres, we knocked the Braves out. So
I mean, the only thing I can see is that because that's happening, because this is a 5-game series, right?
Yeah.
Maybe make it a 7.
Right.
Right.
So we can go into the middle of November instead of
Right. All right, let's talk about last night's game because the first inning, you thought after the first batter that, maybe we can get to Strider because what does Schwarber do? He hits a rocket, right? Single or double, sorry. But then he gets nailed at third on the Turner grounder, which
bad base running.
Right.
Really
I guess
bad.
if the play's in front of you, right?
Yeah.
The rule is if the play's in front of you, don't move. But Turner's steals second. Harper gets an infield single. Runners in first and third, and then boom, unfortunately grounded a double play.
Yeah. Well, at least he made contact that time because the rest of the time he didn't even sniff one.
Right. We go to the bottom of the first, and good news for Ranger. He just had these guys just get
His command. His
command
was real good.
Change up in the curve. 1-2-3 inning for Ranger. And then in the top second, JT gets hit by a pitch. And again, you're thinking, all right, maybe this is not the Strider game because Strider, hit a pitch or hits JT, gave up a double inning before. JT gets thrown out at second. Bottom of the
That was a great throw, by the way.
It really was.
That was a great throw.
And it was an odd beginning because, again, in the bottom of the second, Albies gets thrown out at the second, which they did a review and then overturned. Top of the third, Phils go 1-2-3. Bottom of the third, Braves go 1, 2, 3, 2 strikeouts on curveballs for Ranger. So now you're thinking it's going to be, good. If Ranger can match Strider, right? Then that's at least top of the fourth. You got Turner grounds out. Harper walks. He steals second. That was an error on the pitcher. He airmailed the first baseman. Bohm strikes out. Right? And then Stott hits a single to left, scoring Harper 1-0. So all of a sudden, that run right there, I think, is huge because I think psychologically they kind of put the Braves like on their heels. They're already kind of psychologically probably hurt from last year, right? And
there's no better guy in that situation to me on our team, than Stott because he looks. I mean, he doesn't mind hitting with 2 strikes. Don't matter who's on.
I think he led Major League Baseball in two strike.
He's the guy you want there. I think it's unbelievable.
All right, then we go to the bottom of the fourth, and this was a wild inning because you get a 2-out hit by Olsen. It was the first hit for the Braves. It was, then there was a weak grounder, runner safe at second.
Yeah.
And then Suarez is taken out, and that's when everybody's thinking, what's going on here? Why? Again, everybody. And then Hoffman comes in. He walks the bases loaded. The umpire did miss a strike, by the way, which could have changed that at bat.
Yes, he did.
And then Michael Harris III, who's batting ninth, and not last night, but he batted ninth for most of the season. But he was also Rookie of the Year last year.
Yeah.
He strikes out on a nasty splitter by Hoffman.
Whatever that pitch
or whatever it was called. Splitter, yeah.
Yeah.
And all right, so now you're like, all right, how's Rob Thompson gonna can Hoffman come out for another one? Is he done with Hoffman? He's used up Ranger. Top of the fifth, quiet in it. Well, Marsh walked, stole second base. Schwarber struck out. What I liked about this is that the plan, obviously, Rob Thompson had his plan as far as using the pitchers, but I also think he was playing like this is Game 7. He said to beat Strider, if we can get on base, then we need to steal because Strider is not good with holding runners on base, right? And their catcher is good, but Strider's slow to the home plate. So I think that was their strategy: is get on base, steal, take advantage of our speed, and we did run. So again, then Schwarber strikes out, ends that inning. Bottom of the fifth. This was where I needed to run up and get my Pepsid, right? This is where I need to take my acid reflux medication because Sir Anthony comes in. Now, Sir Anthony,
you're going through your breathing exercises, right? Yes. Trying to get your heart rate
This is when Jill was yelling at me, and she wouldn't watch the game with me in the same room. So she's yelling at me from upstairs, And Sir Anthony comes in, and Sir Anthony can be dealing, right? Can be dominant, but also we've seen Sir Anthony also. So what happens? He gives up a leadoff single. Then he strikes out Murphy. And then he has Rosario 0-2, but then Rosario lines a single. So now you got first and third, and you're saying, oh boy, you got first
with Acuna up.
First and third with Acuna up. Here it comes, right? And he strikes out Acuna looking, which was
unbelievable.
Let's go back to what did I say? The original words: huevos, guts, castones, cojones, stones,
rocks.
Right, and that was looking too, right?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was.
But of all the things that happened in the game yesterday, I think him getting those 2 strikeouts could be the biggest factor.
Sure.
Because when he's right,
he's
a back end of the guy.
And he's a confidence.
Huge for this team. Now, he hasn't been right a lot this season.
Right, but he's also a confidence guy.
But he was also throwing about 90. I mean, he was blowing it by guys yesterday. So
right there, called strike is what it was.
Hopefully this leads him to better days ahead because he was filthy yesterday.
Yeah, I think a lot of him is just more like in his head. Like you're right. If he is Sir Anthony from what we know from last year in the past, I mean that's a huge weapon.
After that second single, you could see his demeanor throwing the baseball was more
decisive.
But look at Mick. There's the pitches he threw that at bat to Acuna.
Yeah.
Look where they were and what they were.
In on his hands.
Yeah. All fastballs.
Yep.
All fastballs. 3 of them were in on his hands. 1 was down and away. That was called a ball, but it was a strike by what the box says. But
Acuna yesterday, to me, swung early.
Yeah.
And not at good pitches.
Right.
Like he was over aggressive yesterday and,
I was like,
didn't look
thank
right.
You. Yeah. I was like,
absolutely.
thank you.
He swung at the first pitch to the bottom of the first.
Yeah.
Got jammed. I think the second at bat he got jammed. He did not look right yesterday. I don't know if it was the 5 days off.
Right.
But he didn't look good yesterday.
I knew. We told him. I said, they're going to try to jump on Ranger early. They're going to come out hacking, and I mean that's exactly what happened. But he made quality pitches.
Yep.
And that's what happened.
Well, then you get past Acuna, but you're still not out of the woods. You got first and third, 2 outs now, and you got Austin Riley. Now Austin Riley would be the MVP of any team, but unfortunately he's got Olsen and Acuna on his team, so he's like the third best player. When you're saying Austin Riley's your third best player, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Pretty good.
But Austin Riley strikes out, and I think he struck out swinging, and just again, Mickey, I think he hit it on the head. That was huge because obviously for that game, but also for the emergence of Sir Anthony. We might have Sir Anthony from the good Sir Anthony that we remember. So huge getting out of the bottom of the fifth. All right, let's go to break because we want to talk about the rest of the game. A lot of stuff going on. Before we go to break, consider a career at Septa. Septa is hiring a variety of skilled trade positions, including mechanics, electricians, plumbers, masons, painters, carpenters, welders, millwrights, and more. As a Septa employee, you'll earn competitive compensation and great benefits, including medical, dental, prescription, and a pension. Visit jobs.septa.org to apply today. Visit jobs.septa.org. All right, coming up in the show, we're going to go through again the rest from the fifth inning on about last night. An unbelievable game. You're listening to Septa Baseball Insiders Show presented by BCWSA. We are live from the Eddington House in Bensalem, PA.
This is Tommy Greene from the 1993 National League champion Phillies. And here's the pitch. BCWSA water and sewer customers, you have a new and improved option to pay your bill that's convenient, reliable, and secure. Powered by Invoice Cloud, you can pay your bill 24/7 online, pay by text or phone, or sign up for AutoPay to avoid fees for late or missed payments. Visit bcwsa.net to sign up or for more info. That's bcwsa.net. BCWSA, proven.
At Penn Community Bank, we're not just your bankers, we're your neighbors. That comes in handy when you're purchasing your first place, refinancing an existing mortgage, buying a second home or investment property, or looking to tap into your home's equity. Whatever your situation, we pair the latest products, services, and technology that you need with the experienced banking professionals you want. Visit penncommunitybank.com or stop by your local branch to find out how we can make your family's growth personal. Penn Community Bank. Here we are and here we grow. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
The life of an Eagles fan is a wild ride. Some years we triumph. Some years we don't. What never changes year after year is how we get to the game, shoulder to shoulder with our fellow fans on Septa. And this season, fans ride home free from NRG Station on the Broad Street line thanks to Unibet, an official casino and sportsbook partner of the Philadelphia Eagles. Plan your trip to the game and learn more about free rides home, sponsored by Unibet at iseptaphilly.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The Eddington House on Humeville Road in nearby Bensalem is your hometown restaurant, bar, and Phillies sports destination. With daily drink and food specials, there's no better place to watch Phillies playoff baseball. Enjoy Wednesday music bingo from 6 to 8 p.m. and Thursday night dance party with Fox 29's Bob Kelly from 5 to 8 p.m. For a place to relax, enjoy great food, and Phillies playoff baseball, and all the NFL action on Sunday with the NFL ticket, it's the Eddington House on Humeville Road in Bensalem. Your hometown spot for Phillies playoff baseball.
We now return to the Eddington House for the Baseball Insider Show. Here's your host, Director of Fun and Games for the Phillies, John Brazer, and pitcher from the 93 National League Phils, Tommy Greene.
We are back to the Septa Baseball Insider Show presented by BCWSA. We're live from the Eddington House in Bensalem, PA. I'm John Brazer, joined by my co-hosts Tommy Greene and Mickey Morandini.
And
let me just tell you, come on down if you're in the Bensalem area. We'll be here for a while, but come down to Eddington House. By the way, there's going to be Eagles versus Dallas tickets giveaway today, Tommy. Someone's going to be able to win.
Hey, how about that?
Eagles versus Dallas tickets giveaway today, thanks to Pat McConney. Just if you want to come down here on Monday night at Eddington House, it is family fun night. Tuesday night is burger night. That's good, right?
Burger night, that sounds good.
Wednesday is music bingo. Thursday is a pajama party. If you bring a pair of pajamas, it benefits Kelly's kids. Bob Kelly will have a happy hour dance party. I believe that goes.
That's right up your alley, right there, isn't it, Brazer?
In my pajamas, yes. And there's live music every Friday and Saturday. Upcoming Halloween party 10/21. Follow on Facebook, the E-House. So you got that going. And again, Tommy, consider a career at Septa. Septa relies on and needs bus operators, train engineers, conductors. As a Septa employee, you'll earn competitive compensation, great benefits, including medical, dental, prescription, and a pension. Visit jobs.septa.org to apply today. That's jobs.septa.org.
You're the best, Brazer. That's awesome.
Thanks,
You
Tom.
did
It's
that.
a
How about
lot.
that right there?
It's a mouthful right there. And look, I'm wearing my Septa shirt today, too.
How about
Tom,
that? Yes.
Or Mickey, you haven't seen the shirt.
No,
Tommy and I got Septa shirts.
Well, there you go.
Oh, yeah.
So it's
I like this.
a little hoodie.
How about
I got this at a golf
I
tournament.
know.
You did too.
Yeah, I haven't wore mine yet.
Same
but
golf tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. We left off in the 5th inning when Sir Anthony struck out. So now we are, right now we are 1-0.
Struck Austin Riley out.
We are 1-0. Austin Riley just struck out. Now all of a sudden, as a Phillies fan, you're starting to feel you're not confident because you're only up 1-0, right?
Yeah.
You still got 4 more innings to go.
Yeah. But getting out of that inning was huge.
But you're trying to figure out how's Rob Thompson going to piece this together because he's already used Sir Anthony, he's already used Jeff Hoffman, obviously Ranger Suarez out of the game, and he brings in Alvarado. So same thing, Mickey, you were saying, right? Were you thinking when you're watching the game, is this too early for Alvarado?
Well, I think when the middle of the order's up,
right,
no matter what inning it is, and we're already in the bullpen, it's going to be Alvarado every time.
Right.
Yeah.
And no matter how early or yes. So I think Rob Thompson said, you know what, you're right.
Those are the matchups.
And he comes in and he gets – well, first of all, we didn't talk about the top of 6.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say you missed something.
Bryce Harper hits I think it was the hardest ball by miles per hour off Strider all year. Just he golfed it. Just he laser right over there.
It was a slider too, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it just it went right on the
it's
tee.
a short porch there.
Right on
Atlanta.
tee.
Right.
Short porch, so
well, you got to take advantage of it.
there's probably not too many parks where that ball goes out, but that park, it was enough.
I'll tell you what, because whoever got in front of that's got a hole in them.
Yeah, did a fan catch that?
I'm thinking, that ball was smoked, man.
By the way, I didn't see the whole game. Not that I'm looking for it, but usually they showed like the opposing team's mascot. Like, on a home Phillies game, you see a fanatic all over the place.
You didn't see Homer?
No, it's a bloop.
Whatever it is, it used to be Homer.
Oh, they have Braves have a mascot? I didn't know they had a mascot. Other than the guy that runs the track, what's Mr. Freeze or whatever his game is.
Anyway, also, just before we get back to the bottom of the 6, I was listening to talk radio this morning, right? There was a guy that went down with like 5 buddies, and they drove. They'd leave at 5 in the morning, and they went down to Atlanta, got to Atlanta at 5 p.m. They don't stop for gas. They bring gas in their car, which I don't think is safe. Right?
No, not that long.
No, it's not safe. Just from the fumes and from if you get an accident. I mean, there's just a lot of things that can go wrong right there. And why? How long does it take you to stop at a gas station?
Did they do that because gas is cheaper?
I don't know.
Where they were at?
I don't know whether it was a financial decision or just a time decision. But bad decision all around. They get down there. They watch the game, right? And when Trey Turner makes the play for the double play, Atlanta Braves fans started leaving in droves, right? The guy next to him sold him their tickets for Game 2 Monday. He just said, "I don't want to go see these guys." That's the difference between a Braves fan and a Phillies fan. Phillies fans would not, but the Philly fan took advantage of that. Said yes. So what do you think he does? Most people would say, there's 5 guys that are all married. They stay down there. They call their wives. I'm sorry, we're going to stay down for a couple more days, right? They drive back. Now I don't know whether this was out of threat or out of duress, but they drive back just to see their wives. Is what the guy said, and then they're driving back Monday morning at 5 in the morning.
They're not messing with the mojo. They're not messing with the mojo.
They got to work on Monday.
I don't know.
What's going on?
Right. So there's just the decisions that there's a lot of the decisions in there that I wouldn't have made. Put it that way.
Well, maybe one of the wives threw the Malloy under.
Yeah, there could have been a Malloy.
Yeah, it could have been something.
So are they going to fill the gas tanks back up and keep them in the car for the drive back down?
I don't know. I mean, obviously I'm not thinking like they're thinking, so I couldn't tell you, Mick. All right, so bottom of the 6, Alvarado comes in, does his job. Does give up a single, but he gets a ground out, and then he gets a line out and then a ground out. So good there. Top of 7th, we go down quietly, 1, 2, 3, and then another cojones, another whatever words you're going to use, huevos. Kirkring comes in. Now, I was asking this to people, and people were speculating, will Kirkring come in a key situation, right? Does Rob Thompson trust him enough, a guy who had 2 appearances during the regular season, a rookie, guy who was basically playing double a ball not too long ago. Does he bring him in? Well, not only does he bring him in, he goes 1, 2, 3 innings, 2 flyouts and a ground out, right? So, top of the 8th, big inning. Turner singles with 1 out. He does a delayed steal, which you don't see that anymore, right?
Yeah.
And then he steals third, right? Taking advantage of the playbook that you got to run. Harper walks. Then Pierce Johnson comes into the game. Harper steals second, which was key because it takes away the double play.
After a strikeout.
Right?
Bohm
struck out on the pitch.
He was swinging at the butterflies again.
Yeah. And Stott walks, and now you got the bases loaded. And here's where controversy, although it looked like it was after the fact, it wasn't as controversial because it was called a catcher interference, which Realmuto went to first. Now, they went to the replay, and although it didn't look like it, the catcher, not Olsen, Murphy, kind of.
He didn't argue.
Like he didn't argue.
You could tell by his reaction. He was like slapping his glove.
And
so
JT knew right away.
Right.
So I think based on Murphy's reaction and JT's reaction, the umpire is probably like,
he probably didn't hit it by much because you didn't see a lot of glove movement on it.
But they also say if you hit the laces off the mitt, that counts.
Oh yeah,
and
it might have been the laces.
And it might have been the laces, which JT knew, right? Because I don't think he's going to fake that, right? And Murphy knew because he's not going to fake that either. But a big play because that gives the runner bases loaded. So we go up 3-0, and the Braves fans show that they're not the greatest fans in the world because they arrived late, right? They sold their tickets, and now they're throwing bottles and cans on the field, right? And we're the ones that get a bad reputation.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Right. So, but that was huge. When we go 3-0, that was huge. There you go. I thought Irmer over here is reacting to it like I thought he had like somebody on the Jaguars. All right, so now another cojones decision, huevos, stones, whatever you want to call it. Bottom of the 8th, you're wondering who's he going to put in, right?
Yeah.
Who's is this Strom? Is this could
who's he bringing in?
Taiwan Walker? Like, who's he bringing in here? And Kirkring, a rookie, right?
Yeah,
a guy who's not even a rookie. He's like
goes back out.
He's like he's barely the R in rookie, right? And he comes in, he walks Acuna.
He comes back out.
That's what I meant.
He comes back out.
Sorry, I meant that.
I actually thought Soto was going to come in the 8th.
That was really interesting.
That's what I thought.
Right. But I guess the lefty didn't like the lefty matchup.
Probably not.
And these guys haven't seen Kirkring. They don't even have a book on Kirkring. Right? So, but it's totally risky. You don't know. He's already got through the one inning.
Well, and the other thing was it was a long inning. So he sat there probably for about 30 minutes, I bet.
Right. So he walks Acuna, and then that was his last batter.
On 4 pitches, too. I mean,
4 sliders.
Yeah.
And then I'm guessing Strom comes in because he knows he's got Olsen at some point, right, with a lefty. So he comes in, he gives up a single by Riley. So you got first and second, no out. Again, I run upstairs, get my my heart medication, my Pepsid, whatever it is, right? Clear the house of dogs, wives, kids, whatever,
knives,
right? Knives, scissors, whatever. But then Olsen flies out. Now, just at that half second, I'm like, because I knew it was a fly ball, but at the same time, you see anything go out in the outfield.
Right. That ball flies in it. So people don't realize Atlanta's up in the air like 1,100 feet. I mean, that's why they called the old stadium the launching pad. The ball flies there. People don't. I mean, it goes. So.
Yeah. Well, then the play of the game, the absolute play of the game, and again, I'm going to overuse the huevos, guts, cojones, stones, or just the innate ability of this guy and why we signed him to a huge contract for many years. A ball that someone showed this comparing to Jimmy Rollins' play, the double play that clinched us in 2008. Now Jimmy was closer to second than this play. Trey Turner was off second. Was pretty
he was
deep.
He was shaded more
he
towards.
Was pretty deep in the hole.
Yeah.
And he dives to the ball. Not only gets a sharp ball. I think it was Albies, right?
Yeah.
And Albies is fast. He not only gets it, he's got the long.
He's got
throw,
a long toss.
Right? That's a long toss. That's not a short toss. Gets a long toss, and then it also requires Stott to obviously catch it and then fire it quickly because you have Albies running down first base. So it was the perfect play. Bam, he makes a great catch. Bam, he makes a great throw. And Stott makes a great turn and a hard throw. And that basically sent the Braves fans just streaming out of the ballpark. Unbelievable play. Can't say enough. Top of the ninth, Phils go 1-2-3. Kimbrel comes in with a 3-0 lead. Again, I go upstairs, get my heart medication, get my Pepsid. Had to clear the room with the wives, knives, dog, whatever.
Hey,
and you know
ho-hum. It was ho-hum.
And it was ho-hum. He gets a pop out, a ground. Once you get the first out,
Yeah.
right, you're feeling pretty good.
You start breathing again.
Yeah, once you get the ground out, you're feeling real good. Then he gets a fly ball. And then afterwards, how good did you feel after that? Again, everything we talked about, you I don't know if it was stealing because we earned it, obviously. But when you're going into Strider versus a lefty,
You beat
against
their ace. Yeah.
You beat their ace. You know you got Fried coming in the next game on Monday, who's got blister issues. So if you're a Braves fan, you have no idea what you're getting out of Fried, right? He's got blister issues.
And he hasn't pitched in 3 weeks.
Hasn't
maybe?
pitched in a long time, right? He didn't pitch much this year in general.
No.
Knowing that they don't have their third pitcher, Morton's out for the series.
Yeah.
Kyle Wright's not even on the roster.
Not even on the roster.
So they're going to have to go to somebody. It's either they're going to bring in Elder, who's
Probably
good
Elder.
against us earlier, but he's really labored the last month and a half. So knowing all that, if you're a Braves fan, you lose that game, and now you've got three of the next 4 games, last 4 games. You've got 2 by Wheeler, 1 by Nola, and then you probably have another Ranger Suarez start, and 2 of them at the place where they say it's 4 hours of hell to play baseball. Right now, if you're a Braves fan, you're not feeling good at all.
Not feeling good at all.
No.
So, hey, right now we're in the driver's seat. That's why we wanted to go down there and not shock them, but hey, get it, have a well-pitched, well-played defensive ball game, and exactly what happened.
Yep.
And it gave us a chance to beat their number one. And we went down and got it from them.
All right. Did you guys know that Septa operates a fully electrified multimodal rail system and has one of the largest green bus fleets in the nation?
Oh, Mickey does now.
I know now, yeah.
2 reasons why Septa commuters have 1/3 the carbon footprint of those who travel by car. Visit iSeptaPhilly.com to plan your trip today. That's iSeptaPhilly.com. All right, coming up in the show, we didn't even talk about the first series. We were going to talk about the Marlins wild card, and we'll set you up, preview Game 2, which is Monday, and we're going to talk about some of the other games as well that went on, and talk about the potential path that the Phillies have if they're going to get that ring that Castellanos by the way, we didn't even mention that when Castellanos pointed to his ring finger. Well, we'll get to that because that was during the Marlins series.
Yeah, I don't remember that. But
coming up on the show, we'll get to all that. You're listening to Septa Baseball Insiders Show, presented by BCWSA. We are live from the Eddington House in Bensalem, PA.
BCWSA customers, former Phillies pitcher Tommy Greene here. I played on the 1993 National League champs, so I know a thing or two about what it's like playing on a winning team. BCWSA has all the ingredients. They make it easy for their customers to get automatic updates by text, email, or phone anytime there is a disruption in your service area. You can even customize your alerts by going to bcwsa.net. That's bcwsa.net. BCWSA, your partner for a safer environment. BCWSA, proven.
At Penn Community Bank, we're your financial partner for all of life's moments. Our checking accounts are designed with you in mind, providing convenient access and 5-star mobile and online banking services to help you achieve your goals. Right now, you can earn a $350 cash bonus for opening a qualifying new checking account with direct deposits in the first 60 days. Visit PennCommunityBank.com/cash bonus to learn more. Penn Community Bank, here we grow. Offer terms and conditions apply. Limited time offers subject to change. Ask for full details. Member FDIC.
The life of an Eagles fan is a wild ride. Some years we triumph. Some years we don't. What never changes year after year is how we get to the game, shoulder to shoulder with our fellow fans on Septa. And this season, fans ride home free from NRG Station on the Broad Street line thanks to Unibet, an official casino and sportsbook partner of the Philadelphia Eagles. Plan your trip to the game and learn more about free rides home, sponsored by Unibet at iSeptaPhilly.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The Eddington House on Humeville Road in nearby Bensalem is your hometown restaurant, bar, and Phillies sports destination. With daily drink and food specials, there's no better place to watch Phillies playoff baseball. Enjoy Wednesday music bingo from 6 to 8 p.m. and Thursday night dance party with Fox 29's Bob Kelly from 5 to 8 p.m. For a place to relax, enjoy great food, and Phillies playoff baseball, and all the NFL action on Sunday with the NFL ticket, it's the Eddington House on Humeville Road in Bensalem. Your hometown spot for Phillies playoff baseball.
We now return to the Eddington House for the Baseball Insider Show. Here's your host, Phillies Director of Fun and Games, John Brazer, 93 National League champion Phil's pitcher Tommy Greene, and former Philly second baseman Mickey Morandini.
All right, we are back to the Septa Baseball Insiders Show presented by BCWSA. We are live from the Eddington House in Bensalem, PA. I'm John Brazer, joined by co-host Tommy Greene, Mickey Morandini. And it's time now for the Smart Stat of the Week, brought to you by Payroll Service Solutions. Call them today at 1-866-PAY-EASY. That's 1-866-PAY-EASY. And the stat of the day is a big one because it's the first time all season that the Braves were shut out at Truist Park.
How about that?
How about that? First time all season.
That's a good stat right there.
That the Braves are shut out. The first time the Braves are shut out at home since August 28th, 2021. And teams will be shut out in the first game of postseason after leading Major League Baseball in runs per game. Atlanta last night, and Seattle in 2001, the ALDS, and Detroit in 1935. How about that one? I'm going to give you some more stats
That's a good stat right
of
there.
the game. Phils have now won 6 straight Game 1s, dating back to Game 1 of 2011 NLDS. Since Game 1 of 2008 NLDS, Phils have won 13 of their last 14 Game 1s. It's the second best winning percentage in Game 1s of all time at 20-7. So that's pretty. Phils have won 7 straight postseason Game 1s. Only 4 teams have had longer streaks. The Browns, Orioles did it 12. Yankees did it from 37 to 50. 9 Giants and one other team. So teams to not be shut out in the regular season at home, but shut out in the team's first game of the postseason. That's the Braves and the 42 Yankees. So as we're saying these stats that are all positive for us,
yes,
I'm sure some radio station guy in Atlanta is saying these stats and just crying about their Braves. Also, just wanted to let you know, Trey Turner is the first Phillies player with 2 multi-steal games in a single postseason. Chase has 2 in his career. The 5 stolen bases are the most in a Phillies postseason game ever, most by any team since Kansas City had 7, but they did it in 12 innings in 2014. So pretty crazy stuff going on.
Yeah.
Also, just some of the other games we'll get to. I'm going to give you some more stats because we're still on the Payroll Service Solutions Smart Stat of the game. Phillies relievers averaged a Major League best 96.3 mile per hour on the fastball. Last night, the Major League best, so our relievers. 97 was what we averaged, all the relievers that we came in. So maybe that was in, one of the Achilles heel for the Braves is for any team, it's for, you can throw 97 miles per hour or better, right? That's going to be someone an Achilles heel for anybody. Well, it was against the Braves, and they obviously notched it up. So maybe Rob Thompson's strategy of going to the bullpen fresh and having guys knowing that they're giving it their all for 1 inning, it worked.
He rolled the right dice last night.
Yes, it was. And that was your Philly Smart Stat of the Week, once again brought to you by Payroll Service Solutions. Call them today at 1-866-PAY-EASY for the smart choice in payroll services. Call them again at 1-866-PAY-EASY. All right, so in order to get to the Braves, we had to beat the Marlins, right? In a best of 3. Now, all 3 games are home, or 2 of the 3. If we win the first 2, we don't have to worry about the third.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit, and the Marlins came in hot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're playing good.
They win a lot of one-run games. It's funny, the run differential was terrible, but because they won a lot of one-run games, the most in baseball this year, they're scary. And they had 2 lefties that are going to start against us. We're going to have Luzardo, we're going to have Garrett, right? And they got their bullpen guys, their 2 big bullpen guys are lefties, A.J. Puck and Tanner Scott. So, it's a game that could, and Marlins have given us fits over the years. Mick, how did you feel going into the series?
I actually felt really good just because, 1, we were home. 2, the Marlins were last in runs in the National League.
Yep.
So for them to score, and they didn't hit a lot of home runs, they would have to string hits together. And that's hard to do off Wheeler and Nola for the most part. So I felt pretty good about it. I just thought if we scored some runs early with that young pitching and in the atmosphere, we would be in good shape. Now, we really didn't score a lot of runs early.
Yeah, not the first game, no.
Especially the first game. We had guys in scoring position didn't score. But I just felt we were a much, much better team than the Marlins.
Yeah, we ended up being 3 for 14 with runners in scoring position on Tuesday night. But Zach Wheeler, Tom, you had to be very impressed with Zach Wheeler. Struck out 8,
Oh,
he
yeah.
took a 2-hit shutout into the 7th. And he came out. He allowed 2 infield singles with 2 outs.
Yeah.
But I mean, talk about his performance?
You can't ask for any better than when your horse goes out there and gives you that type of outing. Gave up a couple infield hits. He really didn't give up anything. That to me, can't ask for a better start from your guy. To start off the series.
And his pitch count was good.
Oh yeah.
Normally with Will's first couple innings,
Yes.
he's at 40 pitches already.
Yeah.
His pitch count was low.
Yeah.
He probably could have went another inning if he had to, but yeah, he pitched really well.
Well, then that allowed him. That allowed.
He threw
Thompson.
100 pitches. So total.
Yeah.
He was almost through the 7th inning, which is below 15 pitches an inning,
Right.
Which is what you want.
And that allowed Alvarado to come in, right? Retired the first 2 batters of the 8th, and
Yeah.
then again playing matchups, he gets Hoffman to come in, get the 3rd out, and then Kimbrel comes in, gives up 1 hit, but gets the saves. And I mean, there's a lot of things that obviously some of the big double scoring Rojas.
Yeah.
Stott had a big single, scored Real Muto. Now the one guy I love this guy, but he had a tough game was Dusty. Dusty had a now again there's a tough, like Schwarber. A lot of people say you should have sent, but there's no outs. So I understand why he held Schwarber at first, at third.
He's not
in the
the
first
fleetest
inning.
of foot. So.
Well, there's no outs and Harper's up, but the angle that he was going
Right.
for that
Would've
ball,
been a tough one.
he would have
And he
to
was
make
pretty
it
deep.
absolutely. He was deep, perfect throw. Now I know Schwarber's not the fastest guy in the world, but
Yep.
is what it is.
And then Castellanos was thrown out at home, and then Harper blows through the stop sign,
Right.
which I don't think Harper's stopping for
Well,
anything.
Harper
there.
does his own thing out there.
Right.
He knew as soon as he
not
took
the
off,
first
he
time.
was gone.
That's not the first time he's blown through a
Right,
stop sign.
right. But Pache came up big with a big single. Castellanos with a huge double, which again scored Harper, who blew through the sign for 1. Now Castellanos put his finger up, pointing to his ring finger, but I think a lot of people thought, who's he giving the finger
Finger
to?
to.
Because he's pointing to the dugout and he's pointing to the crowd. So but obviously
Yeah.
I'm glad that didn't
It
catch
was his
on.
ring finger.
I'm glad that didn't catch on. I'm glad that wasn't like the new, Cajonas
Oh,
thing, right? Because all of a sudden, all the fans, all the players doing that, that would be tough. So, but every starter had at least 1 hit. The only one who didn't have a hit was Marsh, but he didn't start the game. Every starter had at least 1 hit, and this is a tough lefty, Luzardo,
Yeah.
who's
Yeah.
pitched well. And then let's talk about first pitch, because I think that fired up the team. Rhys Hoskins comes out. It was a surprise. I somehow got in the middle of a tweet storm. I was trending on Twitter because I went on WIP that morning and said it's a surprise. And they're like, come on, who is it? I said, I can't tell you, but it's going to be spectacular, and you're going to be talking about it in the morning. Well, my version of spectacular was different from, I guess, the listeners' version of spectacular,
Yeah.
because they're all speculating
Well, I
it's going to be
was
Taylor
thinking-
Swift.
I was
yeah,
thinking
so
Rocky.
Sly Stallone.
Yeah,
all these other
something like
people.
that.
Embiid.
And next thing you know, it's on page 6 of the New York Post. It's on the cover of the Daily. My quote's on there. It's gonna be spectacular. So now I'm starting to get really nervous. And I get down there, and when Rhys came out, it was emotional. He was emotional. The teammates are emotional. Throws a great pitch. Crowd gets fired up. They showed the video of him slam the bat, against Strider. I think that got the crowd worked up. So
Yeah.
it worked out. But if we had lost, and maybe for some reason it was kind of a dud, like.
It's all on you,
It's
Brazer.
all on you.
I'm getting ripped. I'm getting absolutely ripped. But I thought that was pretty cool with that taking place. So, but let's go back to Wheeler. His slider and his sinker were just nasty, right? Just nasty.
Yeah,
So-
he had it all working. He was getting ahead in the count, throwing strikes, keeping the ball down. Hopefully he can do that again tomorrow.
Yep. So then we go to game. We're up 1-0 now. Fans go nuts. Game 2. Now the big thing is Nola. Can Nola match? What Nola are we going to see? Are we going to see Nola that's going to have the tough inning? Are we going to see Nola that's we've seen playoff Nola, right? And we come in and Nola pitches a gem. I mean, if anybody has any doubts right there,
Why is everybody on Nola?
I
man?
know.
Why is everybody on that old boy? Man?
I
Yeah,
agree.
mean,
but a lot of fans.
people are human. Wheeler's had games like that, but people are not.
I know.
So
And when Nola's on, he is on. And again, he's very rarely off. It's usually one inning that he has that he labors.
And then he found a way not to this time.
So I got a little tidbit on his mechanics.
Okay.
And you can talk about this because I don't understand too much. So supposedly he's had issues with the pitch clock. So there's a pitch clock to his right and there's a pitch clock to his left. So what he was doing when he came set, he was looking at the pitch clock and his shoulder was turning in a little bit. So they watch film.
He was closing off.
He was closing off. They watch film, and they tell him, look at the pitch clock on the left. So now he looks at the pitch clock on the left, and it keeps him open. That supposedly was the adjustment.
When did that adjustment
When he
take place?
started pitching the last 2 or 3 starts
Wow.
is when they
Look at
found
that.
that adjustment. So I think that's it, and you can probably talk to it more if it's that big of a difference.
Well,
I don't know.
I mean, you can look at it different things. What do we do now? We play golf a lot, right?
Right.
You notice when you get in a bad habit, you don't realize it. You end up, you don't hit the ball as well. Something happens, and you end up going back to the basics and starting over again, sort of. And that's sort of what they had to do. So a little thing can creep in, and that's why, we have pitching coaches and stuff like that.
Right.
We can't stop in between innings all the time, and every time you throw a bad pitch and have a pitching coach come out there, we got to be our own best pitching coach out there. But that's why we have pitching coaches, because they see us all the time. They see us when we're good. They see us when we're bad. And he says, he doesn't look right today. What's going on? And they start zoning in on it. And that's probably what happened after a couple times. They said, what's going on with him? So he went and analyzed it, and maybe he was just a little closed off, and he was having trouble with it. So,
yeah, Mick, if that's I did not know that.
Yeah.
And you heard that from
one little
that's
credit.
great.
A reliable source.
A reliable source. All right, see, that's what you bring to the table here, Mick.
Well, yes,
right? Some inside information.
I've seen you on the golf course. Especially you last time I played. The one little alignment thing we did.
Yeah.
It was, I just don't feel comfortable. But you hit it right down the middle every time after that.
And I moved.
It was unbelievable.
And I moved closer to my iron. So
yeah, one little thing can make a big difference.
Sure.
That's awesome. All right, we're gonna let's take a break. But when we come back, we're gonna talk about the huge moment, which was again he said he blacked out during the big moment. So I can't wait to get to that. We will talk about that. You're listening to Septa Baseball Insiders Show, presented by BCWSA, live from the Eddington House in Bensalem, PA.
The life of an Eagles fan is a wild ride. Some years we triumph. Some years we don't. What never changes year after year is how we get to the game, shoulder to shoulder with our fellow fans on Septa. And this season, fans ride home free from NRG Station on the Broad Street line thanks to Unibet, an official casino and sportsbook partner of the Philadelphia Eagles. Plan your trip to the game and learn more about free rides home, sponsored by Unibet at iseptaphilly.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is Tommy Greene from the 1993 National League champion Phillies. And here's the pitch. BCWSA water and sewer customers, you have a new and improved option to pay your bill that's convenient, reliable, and secure. Powered by Invoice Cloud, you can pay your bill 24/7 online, pay by text or phone, or sign up for AutoPay to avoid fees for late or missed payments. Visit bcwsa.net to sign up or for more info. That's bcwsa.net. BCWSA, proven.
At Penn Community Bank, we're not just your bankers, we're your neighbors. That comes in handy when you're purchasing your first place, refinancing an existing mortgage, buying a second home or investment property, or looking to tap into your home's equity. Whatever your situation, we pair the latest products, services, and technology that you need with the experienced banking professionals you want. Visit penncommunitybank.com or stop by your local branch to find out how we can make your family's growth personal. Penn Community Bank. Here we are and here we grow. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
The Eddington House on Humeville Road in nearby Bensalem is your hometown restaurant, bar, and Phillies sports destination. With daily drink and food specials, there's no better place to watch Phillies playoff baseball. Enjoy Wednesday music bingo from 6 to 8 p.m. and a Thursday night dance party with Fox 29's Bob Kelly from 5 to 8 p.m. For a place to relax, enjoy great food, and Phillies playoff baseball, and all the NFL action on Sunday with the NFL ticket, it's the Eddington House on Humeville Road in Bensalem. Your hometown spot for Phillies playoff baseball.
We now return to the Eddington House for the Baseball Insider Show. Here are your hosts, Phillies Director of Fun and Games, John Brazer, former Phillies pitcher, Tommy Greene, and former Phillies second baseman, Mickey Morandini.
All right, we are back to the Septa Baseball Insider Show, presented by BCWSA, live from the Eddington House in Bensalem, PA. I'm John Brazer, joined by my co-hosts Tommy Greene and Mickey Morandini. And Mickey, I think, does anybody ever say your name without doing the?
That's unbelievable.
99% say it like Harry.
Right. I purposely
or try to do it like
try
Harry.
to do it like Harry. Yeah.
And how did Dan Baker say it?
He does it good.
He does it good.
like Harry does. Those two really emphasized every syllable of that last name.
Right.
There's some syllables.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So let's get back to game 2, the clinching game in the wild card. But it was we jumped out to, again, we talked about Aaron Nola. Phil's jumped out to a 2-0 lead on Schwarber's RBI double, Turner's RBI single in the third. In the top of the third, I'm firmly convinced in baseball that when a team in the top of the inning blows an opportunity, whether the bases loaded, no outs, and they get no runs, I'm convinced that the momentum all shifts then to the home or the other team the next half inning.
Yeah.
And something bad or good, depending on your perspective, happens. Well, that's what happened because in the top of the third, Phil, we avoided trouble. Birdie had a one-out double off that went off Pache's glove.
Yeah.
But then he tries to steal third, and Nola just saw him and made a very alert play and picked him off.
Yeah, he was able to the old Mitch Williams move. He kind of come back around. He saw him. And I got to hand it to Nola. Some guys get ahead of themselves when they start going. They drift forward, and you can't do that.
Right.
And that Nola had great balance, right, to be able to do that.
Right.
He was posted up on his right leg good. And it was able to maintain his balance. That's why it gave him the ability to turn through and do that without balking.
And again, that energized the crowd.
Yeah, and I don't know why you would want to steal third on that pitch. It's a full count. If you're going to steal third still early in the count, so the batter has a chance to get you in with one out.
Yeah.
I didn't understand the move there. I just think that was being a little selfish.
Well, and again,
they're trying to do too much.
And that gives
Thank you.
And that gives them momentum to the Phillies.
Right.
It gets the crowd into the game, right? And next thing you know, Phils, what do? The next half inning, they scored 2 runs.
Yeah.
So, Real Muto hits off Dave Robertson. They pull Garrett, and it goes. Now we're up 3-0. And then the bottom of the 6th, we end up getting the bases loaded, and Bryce Stott. It's a really interesting part is that I guess the book on Stott is that he's probably going to see the first pitch, right?
Right, he takes a lot. Yeah.
They're thinking that, all right, I can get ahead with a first pitch and at least get 1 strike. And I know he's a good 2-strike hitter, but we can get ahead, get that first strike.
You got a tough lefty that's bringing it. I'm sitting dead red, man.
Totally bring it. And the pitch came up. It was high heat, and first swing.
And too.
And he just ropes it. And at that point, he said he blacked out. He doesn't remember anything, right? He also said one thing on the Trey Turner back to double play last night. He said he doesn't. He said he kind of blacked out there. He just said, or he thought it was. He said I was like impressed, and I was in the play, right?
Yeah.
But just
he was in the play saying, "I can't believe he caught that as he was making the play."
And then he slammed the bat down like Hoskins did, when Hoskins hit it off Strider last year, and that's where the crowd just went. I was on the. I don't know where you guys were. Were you guys up in the suite, right?
Suite, yeah.
I was in the CP Rankin Club, kind of just pacing. And when he hit that, I
shocking.
was like, I said the game's over. Everyone thought the game was over right there. And then it was great to see Kirk Green get. And that was key because then Kirk Green can come in. I'm not sure if Kirk Green's going to get in at that moment if we didn't get that grand slam. And then therefore, he doesn't know whether Kirk Green can handle the playoff atmosphere. And he might not be putting him in last night if he didn't have the opportunity.
Right.
So I think that was pretty key. Soto came in, gave up a run, but how about this? The Phils are 24-11 in postseason at Citizens Bank Park. It is the top postseason winning percentage for any team in any park with a minimum of 20 games. So when you talk about home field advantage, it's legitimately a home field advantage. Citizens Bank Park.
Yeah, nobody wants to come here.
No.
I guarantee the Braves wanted those Marlins to win so bad.
Oh, yeah.
And now they're down 1-0. They do not want to come here.
All right, so let's talk about that. We set up. So Monday, we've got Max Fried, who's a lefty, with a blister issue, hasn't pitched a lot this year, going up against Zach Wheeler, who's pitched well against the Braves. What are you seeing? And you got to think that momentum's with us, and the pressure's on them.
Well, I'm expecting a good outing from Wheeler. I would expect that Fried would be on a pitch count because he hasn't pitched in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So whatever they can get out of him, they're 4 innings maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
So
don't
it
know
could be a bullpen game for the Braves for all we know.
Yeah, it all depends on how much he has been throwing at that effort.
Right.
I mean, because it's going to be amped up. And I mean, you're taking a chance when you're doing that, riding them that long.
And the bullpen's kind of their weak link. If they have a weak link,
they have a week, it's the bullpen.
It's the bullpen.
Yeah, right.
So if it becomes a bullpen game, then
it's to our advantage.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So it's
we just need that quality start. You don't have to be perfect, but it'd be great to have another Wheeler-esque outing.
And once again, we have an off day after this game.
Right.
So our whole bullpen
is
available.
Used
again.
Yeah.
And then there's going to be more off days, too, assuming
Right.
we keep advancing. So
Yeah.
it's Wednesday, Thursday. So Wednesday would be
NOLA day.
NOLA. Thursday, we're assuming
Probably Ranger.
Probably Ranger. Right? And then and it's probably Ranger versus Strider, another rematch.
Right.
And then if it goes, let's say it goes Game 5. Let's say somehow it comes back to their worst. It's kind of a worst case scenario.
You got Wheeler in the mound.
Yeah.
You got Wheeler on the mound against
Probably
who knows?
Fried.
Yeah,
Probably
fifth
Fried.
day.
But if Fried has a tough game, then they really got to think about what's going on here.
Yeah.
Right.
Where do they go? So, all right, let's bring on the owner here, Pat McConney, owner of the Eddington House. Pat, thanks for having us out here.
Thank you guys for coming.
Good to see you
Appreciate
again,
it.
my friend.
Good time of year to
How are ya?
come. Phillies Red October.
I was going to say, as a fan, how are you feeling after last night? Because we were obviously very excited right now. I want to see how you're feeling.
I love seeing those bats quiet. That's no doubt about that. But
And what was this place like last night?
it was packed. I mean, I wouldn't call the Eddington House a sports bar, but there's no doubt a sports community that just comes here for the games, expects a certain crowd, and it was a party atmosphere, so it was awesome.
Nice. All right. Also, Pat is going to be drawing tickets for the Eagles-Dallas game, which we're doing. And we have a bucket here, Chris Armour. All right. All right. Pat, would you like to read the winner of the Eagles versus Dallas tickets?
403-4430.
There you go. Do we have a winner here?
We have a winner.
I don't see a winner yet, but I'm sure there is. Oh, I heard I got
I
it.
heard I got it.
All right. All right, we have a winner. Pat, hey, thanks for having us out here.
Yeah,
Great time.
I appreciate it, guys.
We're going to stick around. You're sticking around. Get signed. Oh, I know you got to go to the Derek
Yeah,
Dalton
we're
Foundation.
going. Yeah.
But, all
Are
right.
you going?
I am not. I'm going to go home and watch
got
the Eagles
something
game
for
with my daughter.
All right.
But, Pat, thank you very much for coming on, and hopefully we'll be back.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Thank you very much.
How'd you play the other day, by the way? We saw you on the golf course.
No good. I'm retired from that game. That game has passed me by.
All right, Pat McConney, the owner of the Eddington House. And again, thanks, and hopefully we will be back. So
Yes, absolutely,
I appreciate
guys.
it.
Thanks a lot.
Go Phils. All right, we are going to wrap it up here. Tommy and Mickey, let's get into the prediction business. Since if we have a show next week, it'll be because we've advanced.
Yeah.
What are you seeing, Tommy? What's your prediction here?
Win what?
How,
Win
does
tomorrow.
This game does go? But does it go?
Win tomorrow.
Do we sweep? Do we go?
Win tomorrow.
Just one day at a time.
One day at a time.
All right. Mick.
Well,
come
the
on.
theme of today has been what? The cojones? right?
Cojones, yes.
So I'm
Guts,
going to
stones,
cajon it, and we're
huevos.
going to sweep these guys.
There you go, Mick.
Huh?
You go. I'm one game at a time.
You heard it right there. And that wraps up today's Septa Baseball Insider Show, presented by BCWSA, live from the Eddington House. Thanks to Pat McConney, the owner here, and the great staff here at the Eddington House. Thanks to my co-hosts today, Tommy Greene, Mickey Morandini.
Hey,
Couldn't do it. Couldn't do it.
Couldn't do it. Our on-site engineer, Chris Ermer. And back in the studio, Stephen Lawler. Thanks to you for listening. We are hoping to have another playoff show next week. Stay tuned for that. Until then, have a great week. And Mickey, I'm gonna give you a break here, Tommy, on this one. Mickey, as the late great Harry the K says, we are
out of here.
Well done.
You've been listening to the Septa Baseball Insider Show presented by Lactico. Tonight's show is an exclusive presentation of 1490 AM, heard throughout the world at WBCB1490.com.